Hello, hello. Welcome on into another episode of the Whiskey Crusaders. I'm Will.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Matt.
According to the website, today we're drinking Ardnamurchan. At least that's what the Scottish pirates on their website told me.
Ardnamurchan.
You're close. That wasn't the Scottish pirate.
That wasn't the Scottish pirate.
I'll play the Scottish pirate though because it's funny.
Ardnamurchan.
Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button and click that notification bell because there's that. Matt, why don't you tell us about this thing I've never heard of before?
Yes. Look at this cool bottle here from Ardnamurchan from the Western Highlands of Scotland, from Ardnamurchan, which is a peninsula that is in the very most western peninsula of the mainland of Scotland, between the Isle of Skye and the Isle of Mull. So way up there. And it has this pretty box. You know how I like a pretty box? It actually won some awards for this pretty box. So
Oh, wow.
got this cool map on it. So I think that's pretty neat.
That
is pretty neat.
Yes, they won some awards for their little box. So good job. Anyway, nobody gives a shit about that, but I just thought I'd tell you that anyway. Anyway, so in this little town of Glenbeg, which is where this distillery is owned by Adelphi, which is an independent bottler. They decided in 2007 that their demand keeps growing. Well, they need to build their own distillery. It's not the first distillery they've around. They used to have one back in the 1800s, but we'll give the history of Adelphi when we're reviewing an Adelphi bottle. So not right now. So anyway, in 2012, they were granted permission to build a distillery and then broke ground in 2013. And on the July 25th of 2014, they opened up this distillery, their first production in there. So like I said, it is a volcanic rock where this peninsula is. It's a one road in, one road out. There's not a whole hell of a lot there. There's a castle. There's a really cool forest and a lot of animals, which I think is really cool and pretty. There's also pretty hotels to go visit the place. But besides that, not a lot going on up there, which makes it a pristine place to get whiskey. This is a very green distillery. They have a hydroelectric plant they use there to make, and they use the same river for their cooling water. And then they heat up their still with the local forestry wood chips and then send them back in with pot ale and the daft to make animal feed. So lots of fun stuff there. They're the first distillery to use blockchain technology, which means they trace every single step from the field that it's in until the bottle it is. And then they have a QR code on the back of the bottle, which is cool. And if you scan this, it'll tell you all about it, which when we get to that point, I will tell you about that, which is really cool and super nerdy, awesome stuff because I like those kind of things. Anyway, so like I said, it's the Middle Peninsula. This is the highest speaking Gaelic people in Scotland. They're 19.3% speak Gaelic still, which is pretty amazing in this day and age. That's the case. Their mash tun only has 10.5 feet wide because that was the narrowest bridge, and if it was any bigger, not getting across the bridge, so it had to be smaller than 10.5 feet. Good reason. So that's not a huge mash tun by any means. There's some that are way bigger. They have two stills. They have a 10,000 liter wash and a 6,000 liter spirit still. They have 7 washbacks. They have 2 that are oak, 2 that are Oregon pine, and 3 stainless steel. So the best of all worlds to put their different washbacks together. They asked, well, which one's best? And they said, all of the above. So they made all of the above, which seems like a logical thing to do.
Okay.
Ardnamurchan means that it's the Highland of the Great Seas, headland of the Great Seas, which of the Atlantic. So it basically goes into the Atlantic Ocean. So this is a very maritime malt. And they have dunnages for their warehouses. They use 3 types of barrels. They use American oak and European oak. They used to hold obviously bourbon and ex-sherry, Pedro Ximenez and Oloroso at their dunnage there. So what this particular one is, this one, Whiskey Advocates number 12 of the year. This is the batch AD 03.21:02. Sure. I'm going to go, it's a very interesting name, but basically it's just their batch numbers. That's how they batch name them.
That's
8%. Yeah, they take unpeated and peated distillate and then combine them. This is bottle 348 of 5004. And so the QR tells you like this crazy nerdy stuff. So it tells you that Lewis Hamilton, he bottled this on March 22nd of 21. They used Concerto barley from the Broomhall farm from the Bruce field. Nicky Docherty was the mash operator that day, and water temperatures, they tell you the water temperatures of each fill. It took 76 hours to ferment it. The still operator was Gordon MacKenzie, who's also their master distiller. He had a minimum of 68.5% ABV up to 75% ABV when it was distilling. Then they give you a list of barrels, and it's like 2 full pages of every single barrel that goes into the batch. It's really awesome. Some of it was in 14, some of it was distilled in 2015. And they combine it of American standard barrels, hogsheads, and sherry butts that proves game bourbon, Oloroso, Spanish Oloroso, American Oloroso, and Spanish Pedro Ximenez. Of course, it's also non-chill filtered, non-coloring, which we all love. So let's see what we think of this new distillery here from Scotland. Also comes in a 700 milliliter bottle because the United States now allows those. So we're starting to get a lot of cool new things. But yeah, this is their first single malt release.
Thank you. You just asked the question I was about to ask. Is this going to be a single malt?
Yes, this is a single malt. Everything that was previously released to this was just spirit because it wasn't quite old enough, or they didn't want to call it single malt yet. So this one's, between, so I guess, 6 years old, the oldest in here. So 5 to 6 years old that most of this is.
Oh, the oldest, because this smells very young.
Yeah. The youngest is 2015 to 20. So 6 years old, I guess, is the youngest. Depending what month, it could be 5 something, but I guess the very technical could be 7.
Sarah's not happy with this.
No, Sarah's definitely not going to be happy with this because of the peat in it.
Yeah.
It
is malty, grainy, funky, but then there's also a mushroom fungal and
I love it.
Almost a Band-Aid.
A little bit of Band-Aid. There's some butterscotch going on there.
Butterscotch.
Lemongrass, Earl Grey tea. The peat's there, but not like prominent, with like some chili peppers and honey, little sea salt, black pepper.
I'm getting more of like a Lady Grey. I'm getting more of the floral components of tea than I am like the darker Earl Grey notes in this one.
I got like sand, some figs, cream of powdered sugar.
Can you find much past that?
That's some butterscotch.
Linseed oil, Granny Smith apple, like wet wood on a beach, washed up on a beach.
It's part of the problem. The peat takes over. Honey.
Orange, grapefruit, saffron, and a little bit of like the cloth soaked in kerosene from a long time ago, which I'm sure is from the peat. I don't know. I really like the way it smells to me. It reminds me of a young Ben Nevis combined with an old Pulteney.
Interesting. I'm not getting the brininess.
See, I get the salt, and I know that their dunnages, they're only a couple miles from the coast of the Atlantic, so they're just right in there, in a little village there. All right, let's see what we think of the taste.
I'm getting the petrol on the nose.
I'll try it, but
I love it. Yeah, we figured that'd be your reaction.
Oh,
we knew you had a lot.
There's
of peat.
The peat. It's
the peat is the peat's not prominent on the nose. On the palate,
it's right there up front.
A lot. It's very oily, very peaty, but it also got this boiled peanut, with lemon and grapefruit. Like a cracked oat bran and cracked brown bread, apple, orange, linseed oil, vanilla, toffee, honey, black pepper, campfire, like a roaring campfire. It's like it's also got like have you ever had like a mineral water from Europe? I know we were over in like the Czech Republic, get some mineral water. So this sort of reminds me of like it's very minerally. With like grapeseed oil and a little bit of bitters and lavender, pine cones. I don't know. I think this tastes amazing. This is like an explosion of flavors.
It's clingy, much like an oily, like an avocado oil or a coconut oil is. It's so freaking clingy, and it just like kind of grabs a hold of everything. There is a bit of like a coconutty beachside vibe going on in it, but to me, I'm getting a little bit of fruit, but then just it's very, very tar, very, very mushroom, fungal, and funky.
Definitely.
I can taste the youngness on it, but the peat kind of buries that a little bit.
Yeah, it's nice. I think really good things are going to come from this distillery. I mean, Adelphi makes really good independent bottler stuff anyway, and they wouldn't put their name on this. This wasn't going to be really good. I think this is really good for our first single malt release to the U.S. I don't know. I think they might have gotten one other previous single malt release in Europe, but the rest of the thing was just spirits. They weren't whiskeys yet. Or not single malts, let's put it that way. They didn't put their name on it. Single, they just put, spirit.
So Matt missed my flip out.
Probably
I was
more.
having a boy time here with it. It
The,
was
the
a
proof
Did you say you were having a boy time?
yes, a fanboy time.
fanboy time.
Oh,
The proof they picked is really nice, and it makes me think, what's water going to do? I just dropped in a couple of drops. We're proofed at 46.8% ABV.
Yep.
At 46%, that's the cutoff, right, for non-chill filtration to not have a
Right.
cloudy sensation when you put it over some ice or drop some water into it, which is why a lot of distilleries stay over that number. But to pick 0.8,
Had to be a very specific reason.
that was my thought too, Matt. So I'm wondering what a drop is going to do to it.
All right. Let's see what we think there. I'm
The
very
more
impressed.
fruitiness shows up on the nose.
Okay.
The peat buries even further than it was. Oh, interesting. The whole thing just kind of fell apart. Instead of separating and all the oils kind of clinging together and everything like that, this one to me tastes like a 40% that I just put a drop in that just kind of fell to the floor.
Okay. So don't add water.
They proofed this thing, like they dialed this the fuck in.
Perfect then.
That's what that tells me, because even just a single drop just negates everything that was in. I'm really glad you're not going to drink this because I get more.
Yeah,
It's
they
not
said that
another drop of water in it.
they designed this very specifically to be a Western Highland, which they went to a traditional Western Highland for like the 1800s. That's what their goal was for this, which they said their goal was to make a gently peated, oily, dark fruit, chili pepper, sea salt, and more smoke. That was their goal, and I think they definitely accomplished it.
I do too.
I think this is a really good whiskey, like especially for young. This is really good young whiskey,
Oh,
and as this gets older, this is going to get magical.
yeah, they dialed in that fucking proof. Going back to the one that I poured for Sarah, it's hands down so much better.
Oh, it is. It's really good. I'm very, very impressed. You see, so as you be good, this is really, really good young Scotch. I just think this is a really good young single malt. And a lot of times, especially single malts that are only like, this averages 5-6 years, are nothing amazing. This is good stuff. They're doing really good work here. I look forward to it when they get like to 10 years. I think this should be really exciting. And the older they get, the better they get. So, like, they have really great owners. They grow all their own barley at the Fife, which they own in West Fife, and then the rest of it's a little bit sourced from other parts of Scotland. But they're super. I love this super ridiculous nerdy, nerd out blockchain technology of like, hey, we'll tell you everything you could possibly want to know about this whiskey to the bottle, where it came from. You can't really go wrong with that. So I really enjoy the
Speaking
nerdy.
of telling me everything about the bottle, did we discuss price
that's
points?
what I was about to ask.
They're not bad. They're like 55, 60. They're not bad. So
And you can get them, most places.
yeah, I know like Specs carries. I'm sure most major places carry at this point in time. So it's good.
New player
I'm-
on the scene.
I'm very happy. And like I said, they said come visit them. It's a really pretty place up there, and based on the pictures, it looks beautiful up there. Not a whole lot of people, which I'm fine with. So looks
You guys
nice.
done fanboying?
I think so.
Yes, we're very happy with that whiskey.
All right. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and click that notification bell. Come hang out with us live on Monday nights. And until next time,
Keep on crusading. Put a whiskey in your glass.
or bottle.
Cheers.
Cheers.